Welcome back to the English Daily Podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake. Today we're talking about something we all struggle with, time management. Whether you're a student, a working professional, or learning English like many of our listeners, managing your time well can make a huge difference in your life.
That's so true, Jake. You know, the interesting thing about time management is that it's not really about managing time itself. Time moves at the same speed for everyone. It's actually about managing ourselves and our priorities.
Exactly. And that's a vocabulary word right there, priorities. A priority is something that is most important or urgent. So when we talk about time management, we're really talking about how to decide what's most important and how to focus on those things first.
Before we dive into specific strategies, let's talk about why time management is especially important for English learners. When you're learning a new language, you need to practice regularly, maybe 30 minutes or an hour every day. But between work, school, family, and other responsibilities, finding that time can be really challenging.
Absolutely. And I think one of the biggest problems people face is what we call procrastination. Procrastination means delaying or postponing tasks, usually by focusing on less important or more enjoyable activities instead. For example, you might say, I'll study English later, but then later never comes because you got busy with other things.
Procrastination is such a universal problem. I think almost everyone does it. The good news is that there are proven techniques to overcome it. One of the most popular methods is called the Pomodoro technique. Have you heard of it?
I have. The Pomodoro technique was invented by Francesco Cirillo in the late 1980s. The idea is simple: you work for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. That 25-minute work period is called a pomodoro, which is Italian for tomato. Cirillo used a tomato-shaped kitchen timer when he developed this method.
That's a fun fact. So the Pomodoro technique works because it breaks big, overwhelming tasks into manageable chunks. Instead of thinking, I need to study English for 2 hours today, which can feel daunting or scary, you just think, I'll study for 25 minutes. It feels much more doable.
Doable is a great word. It means possible to do or achieve. So when something feels doable, it doesn't feel overwhelming. And after each 25-minute session, you take a short break to rest your brain. After 4 pomodoros, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes.
Let's talk about another important concept, the difference between urgent and important tasks. This comes from something called the Eisenhower matrix, named after President Dwight Eisenhower. He said, what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important.
That's a powerful quote. Let me explain this matrix because it's incredibly useful. Imagine a square divided into 4 boxes. The top left box is for tasks that are both urgent and important. These are things you need to do immediately, like a deadline that's due tomorrow or a medical emergency.
Then the top right box is for tasks that are important but not urgent. This is where a lot of English learning falls. It's important for your future, but it's not urgent because no one is forcing you to do it right this second. Other examples include exercise, planning for the future, and building relationships.
The bottom left box is for tasks that are urgent but not important. These are things that feel like they need to be done soon, but they don't actually contribute much to your long-term goals. For example, constantly checking email or responding to every notification on your phone.
And the bottom right box is for tasks that are neither urgent nor important, things like mindlessly scrolling through social media, watching TV for hours, or other forms of entertainment that don't really add value to your life.
The key insight here is that we should spend most of our time in the important but not urgent box. That's where real growth happens. But most people spend their time in the urgent and important box, constantly putting out fires and feeling stressed.
So for our English learners listening, studying English regularly falls into that important but not urgent category. It won't feel urgent day to day, but over months and years, it makes an enormous difference in your life. The challenge is making it a priority even when it doesn't feel urgent.
Exactly. And that's where building habits comes in. A habit is a routine behavior that you do automatically, without having to think about it or use willpower. Good examples of habits include brushing your teeth, locking your door when you leave the house, or checking your phone first thing in the morning.
The good news is that you can build a habit for English learning too. One popular method is called habit stacking. This means attaching a new habit to an existing habit. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will study English for 20 minutes. The existing habit of making coffee acts as a trigger or reminder for the new habit.
Habit stacking is brilliant because it uses your existing neural pathways. Your brain already knows how to make coffee, so you don't have to remember to do that. By linking the new habit to the old one, you're more likely to actually do it.
Let's talk about some practical tools and apps that can help with time management. One of the most popular is called Todoist. It's a task management app where you can create to-do lists, set deadlines, and organize your tasks by project or priority level.
Another great app is Forest. This one is really fun and visual. When you want to focus, you plant a virtual seed in the app. As you focus, the seed grows into a tree. If you leave the app to check social media or do something else on your phone, the tree dies. Over time, you build a whole forest of focused sessions. It's a great way to stay motivated.
There's also an app called Toggle Track that helps you understand where your time actually goes. You turn on a timer when you start a task and turn it off when you finish. After a week or two, you can look at the data and see exactly how many hours you spent on different activities. Many people are surprised by what they discover.
That's called time tracking, and it's incredibly eye-opening. You might think, I only spend a little time on social media, but when you actually track it, you realize it's 2 hours a day. That's 14 hours a week, almost 2 full workdays. Imagine if you used even half of that time for English learning.
Now let's talk about a common mistake people make with time management: trying to multitask. Multitasking means trying to do multiple things at the same time. A lot of people think they're good at multitasking, but research shows that it actually makes you less productive and more prone to errors.
That's right. When you think you're multitasking, what you're actually doing is task switching, quickly moving your attention back and forth between different tasks. Every time you switch, there's a cognitive cost. Your brain has to reload the context for the new task, which takes time and mental energy.
So if you're trying to study English while also checking email and watching TV, you're not really doing any of those things well. You're better off focusing on one thing at a time. This is called single tasking or deep work.
Deep work is a term coined by Cal Newport. It refers to focused, distraction-free work on cognitively demanding tasks. Learning a language definitely qualifies as a cognitively demanding task. When you do deep work, you learn faster and remember more.
Let's give our listeners some actionable tips they can start using today. Tip number 1: plan your day the night before. Before you go to bed, write down the 3 most important things you want to accomplish tomorrow. This way, you don't waste mental energy in the morning trying to figure out what to do.
Tip number 2: use the 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. Don't put it on your to-do list. Examples include responding to a short email, washing a dish, or filing a document. This prevents small tasks from piling up and becoming overwhelming.
Tip number 3: batch similar tasks together. Batching means doing similar activities in a single block of time. For example, instead of checking email throughout the day, which interrupts your focus, check email only twice a day, say at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m.
You can batch English learning too. Maybe you listen to a podcast during your commute, review vocabulary while waiting in line, and do a lesson on an app like Duolingo or Babbel during your lunch break. By batching, you make progress without needing large blocks of time.
Tip number 4: eliminate or reduce distractions. This might mean putting your phone in another room while you study, using a website blocker to prevent access to social media during work hours, or wearing noise-canceling headphones in a busy environment.
And tip number 5: be kind to yourself. Time management is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice to get good at it. You'll have days where you're super productive and days where you struggle. That's normal. The key is to keep trying and to adjust your approach based on what works for you.
That's such an important point, Jake. I think a lot of people give up on time management because they try to be perfect, and when they're not perfect, they feel like they've failed. But perfection isn't the goal, progress is the goal.
Well said. Let's do a quick recap of what we've covered today. We talked about how time management is really about managing your priorities, not time itself. We discussed the Pomodoro technique for breaking work into manageable chunks, and the Eisenhower matrix for deciding what's truly important.
We also covered habit stacking to build consistent routines, tools like Todoist and Forest to stay organized and focused, and the importance of single tasking over multitasking. Finally, we shared 5 practical tips: plan your day in advance, use the 2-minute rule, batch similar tasks, eliminate distractions, and be kind to yourself.
If you're an English learner, remember that consistent daily practice, even just 20 or 30 minutes, will take you much further than occasional marathon study sessions. Time management isn't about doing more, it's about making space for what truly matters.
Thank you so much for listening to the English Daily Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new episode. We release new content every day to help you improve your English.
And if you have a topic you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments. We love hearing from our listeners and creating episodes that are useful for you. Until next time, this is Jake.
And this is Anna. Keep practicing, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.